I'm the Chief Deputy for the Moore County Sheriff's Office. I'd like to introduce you to the gentlemen behind me who are going to address you in just a little bit. To my far left, your right, is Moore County Sheriff Ronnie Fields. Directly beside of him is Brian Phillips, who is the Director of Public Safety for the County of Moore. Mr. Jeff Brooks from Duke Energy is beside him. Our County Manager, Mr. Wayne Vest, beside him. On this side is the Chairman of our Board of County Commissioners, Mr. Frank Quiss. The Superintendent of the Moore County Schools, Dr. Tim Locklear. And finally, our Senator, North Carolina State Senator Tom McGinnis. And I'll call on Sheriff Fields now.
Thank you, Chief. First of all, I want to say thank you to the folks here, for you folks coming out today on a Sunday afternoon. We faced something last night here in Moore County that we've never faced before, but I promise you we're going to get through this and we'll get through it together. Moore County is very strong. We're very united here in Moore County, and we're not going to let this hold us back. And I can promise you to the perpetrators out there, we will find you. So let me bring you up to where we are today on Saturday evening, December the 3rd, shortly after 7 p.m. Power outages began here in the Carthage area. Shortly thereafter, the outages would spread to the greater majority of central and southern Moore County. Upon the arrival of the power crews and our deputies, extensive damage was found at their substations. Evidence at the scene indicated that showed that the firearm had been used to disable the equipment. Our deputies, along with all municipalities, police officers, state, SBI, different ones, come out and assisted us throughout the night to provide security at all of our substations. We're constantly working with the FBI, the State Bureau of Investigation, all of our state and local other law enforcement folks are here, and we're working around the clock and will continue to do so. Personally, I want to thank all the local law enforcement guys and girls that come out and worked over the hours last night, overnight. I want to personally thank you. It just shows what force we have in Moore County, and I appreciate that very much. Folks, we're living in some challenging times that I never thought in my 40 years in law enforcement we would be seeing things and dealing with folks that are dealing with things that we're dealing with. But unfortunately, we're going to have to deal with this. So, today we have not stopped. We have worked with our county, state, and federal local agencies. We've been in constant talk with the governor of our state, Governor Cooper. We had a conference call with him. He's opened up the line of communications for us and all of our state help, offered us anything that we need. Same thing on through Congressman Hudson's office, Congressman Bishop's office. They have offered us everything and anything that we may or may not need for them. So we're all working together as a team, and we'll continue to do that. Today we work with our county attorney, our county commissioners, and all the municipalities, mayors, and out of all the 11 municipalities across the county, we have formed a plan for the night and the next few nights that we may be out of power. It's a very serious situation. So we've come to the agreement to best to protect our citizens and to protect the businesses of our county. We're going to implement a curfew tonight, starting at 9 p.m., and that's countywide, from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. So please try to get out the information out. I thank the news media, you guys, for coming out here today and helping us spread the word out here to the public out here. Hopefully we can get some closure here and get this perpetrators brought to justice. So,
Sheriff, sorry to interrupt. You're tapping the podium.
Okay, I apologize, sir. I apologize.
No worries.
But Anyway, we're gonna let Brian Phillips come up. He's gonna tell you what we're gonna do as far as the opening up the some of the shelters that we've got open here in the county. So, thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff. We come to you today. We have signed a state of emergency that has gone in effect and been effective at 4 p.m. today. With that state of emergency, as Sheriff Field has stated, it does have a curfew beginning at 9 p.m. to 5 a.m., which is documented in our state of emergency. We have opened our shelter. The shelter location, if anyone needs to go to the shelter, is at Moore County Sports Complex, located at 155 Hillcrest Park Lane, Carthage, North Carolina. And it opened up at 4 p.m. today. We'll be opening it up at 4 p.m. today. Our EMS, fire, and 911 operations are operating as normal. Call volume did go up last night due to the incident that Sheriff Fields is talking about, but we're back to normal operations currently at this time. Our Emergency Operations Center has been activated, and we have been in communications with the state EOC throughout the day, and as Governor Cooper, Director Ray have offered their support for Moore County. And at this time, I will turn it over to Mr. Vest, the county manager, and Chairman Quist, if they would like to add any additional comments.
Thank you, Brian, and thank everybody for being here. I know everyone's interested in what's happening in Moore County. We just want to say that first of all hands are on deck. Just the folks that you see here and behind me today, that's just a tip of the iceberg of all the people who are helping to navigate this incident. As the sheriff said, this is unprecedented for Moore County, but we are strong and we are resilient and we will get through. Our number one focus right now is getting our citizens' power restored and restoring the services that the county delivers to the nearly 100,000 citizens that we do have. So we will be making a decision about our county operations tomorrow. We'll probably be working a skeletal operation, and then with a broader plan to get back up to full speed in the Tuesday, Wednesday time frame. As Brian said, our emergency shelter is opening. It's probably open right now at our Moore County Sports Complex. We have a very nice rec center that can handle 225, 250 citizens. So if anyone needs sheltering, we encourage you to come out early. If you need transportation, having difficulty getting there, please call our Emergency Operations Center, and we'll make sure that we do have someone that can help you get to the shelter. And the shelter will remain open until we determine that it's no longer needed. I'll be glad to pause, take a question or two at the moment about county operations before I turn it over to Chairman Quist.
Question, any plans for a shelter in the more southern end of the county? Or is it just this one?
Right now, we're going to focus on the one shelter that we do have. It's centrally located, has generator backup. It can handle the 250 so people. We have additional trailers for restroom, showering facilities should we need that. We can handle the food needs of anybody who does come there. I want to give a word of thanks to the Red Cross, who always is willing to step in and help when we open the shelters. Our health department, our Department of Social Services, our Parks and Recreation, our property management. It takes a lot of effort to get a shelter up and running, and we have to have by statute a certain number of people there with certain qualifications. So we're going to focus on that one for right now. Should we see the demand increase above and beyond what we're able to do there, we'll certainly look to open another shelter. Having generator power is a big need for, of course, we're out of power right now. Should we go to the southern end of the county, we'd look to work with our Moore County Schools folks. Dr. Locklear, the Moore County School Superintendent, is here. He'll have a few words to say as well, but right now we'll focus on the one that we have.
Don't know if you're the one to address it, but can you speak as to what exactly caused the power outage?
We do have a spokesperson here from Duke Energy. We will turn it over to him to make a comment on what caused the power outage. I'll refrain from making my comment. I will let it come from the source. Yeah, very good. Okay, so at this point, I'll turn it over to Chairman Quist, and then following Chairman Quist will be the spokesperson from Duke Energy. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all for being here. We're very appreciative of the resources that have been offered to Moore County. Very appreciative, and hopefully in the next few days we'll have power restored and life will get back to normal. But my message tonight is to the citizens of Moore County, who are resourceful people. Reach out to your neighbors, to those people you know that may have needs, and come to their aid as you're able. We in county government can reach out, but we don't reach out to everyone, and it's incumbent on our citizens to step up and be a part of a solution here. So that's my message to our citizens, and thank you all again.
I'm Jeff Brooks with Duke Energy. Let me start by saying that our thoughts are with the citizens of Moore County. This is a very challenging time. We understand that it is December, the nights get cold, and being without power is very challenging at times. So we are with you, and we are going to continue working on this until we have everyone restored. As you heard from the sheriff last night, between 7 and 8 p.m., one of our substations went offline. It was followed shortly thereafter by another substation. During our investigation of the outage, we did determine that there had been intentional impact on the substation, damaging multiple pieces of equipment in the substation and causing power to go out there. Unlike perhaps a storm where you can go in and reroute power somewhere else, that was not an option in this case, so repair has to be completed. In many cases, some of that equipment will have to be replaced, and our crews are currently working on the repair plan. We're pursuing multiple paths of restoration so that we can restore as many customers as possible as quickly as possible. Recognizing that, we are looking at a pretty sophisticated repair with some fairly large equipment, and so we do want citizens of the town to be prepared that this will be a multi-day restoration for most customers, extending potentially as long as Thursday. We will continue to do everything that we can to restore power as quickly as possible. We're continuing to work with the sheriff's office here as well as with county officials, state and federal agencies to investigate and support their investigation as we work to understand this better. But our first priority really is getting power back on for the customers and also working with the community. The Duke Energy Foundation is working also with local leaders in the county and with organizations to assess needs and opportunities to assist. We'll be doing that over the next coming days to try to bring our support in any way we can to the community. And obviously recognizing that we live and work in this county. This is our community too, and so we're going to be working round the clock, all hands on deck to make sure we can do everything possible to get power back as quickly and safely as possible. With that, I will turn it over. Yes, sir. To you. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Tim Locklear, Superintendent at Moore County Schools. First, I want to say thank you to everyone behind me and also at the state level that's been collaborating, supporting throughout this. As you may be aware, approximately 30 to 45 minutes ago, we announced we'll be closing school for all of our students and staff tomorrow. As we move forward, we'll be taking it day by day in making those decisions and, of course, continue to communicate and collaborate with everyone here. And so, again, just want to say thank you to everyone's support and collaboration, and we'll continue to be monitoring the situation and communicating as proactively as possible. Thank you.
I'm Tom McKenna, State Senator for Moore County and also the Senior Majority Whip. Folks, this was a terrible act, and it appears to be an intentional, willful, and malicious act. And the perpetrator will be brought to justice and prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. We are very fortunate here in Moore County to have an outstanding law enforcement team, not only here with our sheriff but also all our municipal officers and our chiefs of police. They have been here this afternoon for a meeting and worked out all the intricacies for protecting the citizens across Moore County tonight, because it is going to be very, very, very dark, and it's going to be chilly tonight, and we don't need to have anyone out on the streets, and that is the reason for our curfew this evening. I challenge our members of the community, if you do not have to go out for any reason, please stay home tonight. We might have to do this, of course, tomorrow night and the following night, but tonight, for certain, stay at home. The roads are dangerous. We have two roads of United States Highway 501 and US 1 that cross here in Moore County. So we have people coming in from the east, the west, the north, and the south who don't know of this problem that we have. And so we do ask that everyone, if you have no business in Moore County, please stay away until we're able to open back up and make it happen. We are very, very, very honored to have such a high-powered and strong law enforcement team. They're doing their job. They're making things happen. And we appreciate the press being here to share this information tonight. Thank you.
One other thing here I might want to add, that anybody, my saying has always been, if you see something, say something. So, folks, if you see something or have heard something that you think law enforcement should know, please call us, 910-947-4444, and leave any information to it, and one of our officers will get back to you as soon as possible. If it's an emergency, please don't hesitate to call 911. So,
Sheriff, can you speak to the questions about this being done to try to stop this drag queen story time?
what are we doing now?
Yeah, are you looking into that? Is that something?
Absolutely, absolutely. While we're working here in the press conference, we have folks working on every avenue that we possibly can. The FBI, the SBI, they're doing their thing. My staff, CID, narcotics, road deputies, every available officer here that the sheriff's office are working what we can to try to determine what happened. Same goes for all of our municipalities, Southern Pines, Aberdeen, Pinehurst, Foxfire, you name it. Every municipality here is doing everything as a team together to try to formulate, to try to catch these individuals or a person that's responsible for this. And we'll get it. It's just going to take some time.
Sheriff, what is the connection to the acts of vandalism through the drag show? Is there a connection there?
No, none that I'm aware of. Is it possible? Yes, anything's possible. But we've not been able to tie anything back to the drag show. No.
And just for I'm sure I may have missed this. So the substations were damaged due to gunfire.
That's correct. That's correct.
How many substations?
We have 2.
And was the damage done by firearms, or what was it?
They were done by firearms. Yes. Yeah, by shooting them. Yes.
Sheriff, has there been any added security, other infrastructure places in the county?
We have been providing security around them. We'll continue to do that. As again, when we spoke with Governor Cooper this morning, he has offered help, and we will be receiving help. We will have folks out there tonight around the clock, not only providing security there at all of our resources, substations and so forth, but for all of our businesses. We will have folks out there and about, so absolutely.
Sheriff, I know it's early on, but what is the motivation, or have you guys found that out at all? What is the motivation behind all of this?
Coward is what I'd call it, but we don't have anything. No motivation. No group has stepped up to acknowledge or accept that they're the ones that done it. So, yeah, I call them cowards. Is what I
Can
call
you
them.
describe the scene? We heard that the gate had been run over and shots fired. Can you describe what the scene is like out there?
The one local here, it was they pulled up and somebody did and opened fire on the substation. And same thing at the other one. It was a gate, and they went through the gate and got to the substation and shot it as well. So,
Do you
yes.
believe this rises to the level of domestic terrorism?
I can't answer that. We're looking at all avenues. That's the reason I've got the professionals, the federal folks. They deal with the domestic terrorism more than locals. So they're on board and they're working with us to determine exactly who done this. Now, I can say this individual that done this, it was targeted. It wasn't random.
Sir, what kind of punishment does this perpetrator face once done?
Well, we work in state level and federal, and I'm hoping the federal cases, talking with the U.S. Attorney, it's going to carry a little more teeth, a little more bite, so they to exact what the number of years in prison and the fines and so forth. I can't answer that, but it will be extensive. You got to look at the amount of damage that's been done to Duke Power Company and the power companies. This is going to be millions, folks. Just to the millions to the power company, but what it's done to the citizens here, and what the citizens of Moore County, what we're losing, what they're losing, and all the businesses, we're just getting over the COVID, and now this, and how it's going to hurt all of our restaurants and the businesses and stuff. So it's going to hurt, but Moore County's strong, and we'll get through it.
You talk about, are we talking 1 or 2 shots or dozens of shots? Any idea?
I'm not going to jeopardize anything that might jeopardize the investigation, but it was multiple shots.
Was it multiple people? Incident at a Walmart last night?
They did have an incident at Walmart. They had the doors open. They were working, waiting on the generator trucks to arrive to hook up generators to their food products in the store. There was an individual that slipped by and got back there and tried to shoplift, and thanks to our chief back in the back, Aberdeen Police Department, they took him into custody and they handled business. So that was the only incident we had at Aberdeen. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. The person that done this, or the persons, knew exactly what they were doing. Absolutely. That's what it appears. Again, we can think and overthink this and look, what if? I don't know. And we won't know until we find out exactly who done what. So.
What kind of security exists around the substations? Are there cameras?
I don't want to jeopardize the security, but I can assure you that Duke Power Company is doing all they can and will continue to do that. That's what we've talked about around the table today, discussion, and what the senator and others with the governor, when we discussed today, to increase some penalties, messing with our substations and our infrastructures in the state. So there's some things in the works in the play that's going to strengthen these security issues. But for now, yes, we're providing security here in the state, or here in Moore County, and we'll continue until we solve this issue.
So any idea of why Moore County?
Don't have a clue. Don't have a clue. This is God's country. I don't have a clue. So.
Mr. Brooks, can you talk about the restoration path? You said there were multiple. What does that look like?
Excuse me. Yeah, so what we're looking for are ways that we can, if there are ways to partially restore some customers through perhaps either mobile technologies or temporary technologies, we're exploring that path. And then there's also the larger restoration. At some point, even in a normal storm outage, you have to get down to replacing the damaged equipment. And so the damaged equipment is what's the most problematic, and that's what will take the most days. So again, we're hopeful we can find some solutions that may help us find some partial restorations, but we can't promise that. We know that because of the scale of the equipment and where it's located and moving it and what it takes to install it, prepare it, and put it into service, there's a physical time frame there, and that's why we're estimating that it could be as late as Thursday. Obviously, we're going to do everything we can through our process and procedures to shorten that if we can, but safety is first, and making sure that we do this in a way that is protective of the system is also important.
Can you talk about the security at the substation? How do we prevent it from happening in another county if it happens so easily here in Moore County?
So we take security extremely seriously. We understand that we're critical infrastructure, And so we do incorporate multiple layers of security at all of our facilities and across our system to help protect the grid and to help restore power when we have disruptions. You know, those levels, those layers include both physical protections, but also processes and controls, and then technology across the system. So, you know, we can't provide specific information on security measures at a critical facility, but I can say that certainly we're one of the most highly regulated industries in the country, and there's a lot of protocols around security that we follow. And we believe, you know, we follow those in this case, so we'll be evaluating, of course, to look at investigating this and what came from this. But, you know, at the end of the day, there's also situations where we have to have a way to keep the system going and restore it faster when we do have outages. You can't prevent every outage on a system. We have storms, we have squirrels, we have all kinds of things that we have to plan for, and we do plan for this. This is part of our protocols, it's part of our planning, and we're working the plan now.
Did security work in this case? The way the protocol is set up, the way your security system is set up, did it work?
You know, we have to continue investigating this, but I would say that the protocols we have in place meet the requirements that we have for this type of work.
There was somebody on Facebook who was saying that she was questioned about this.
I'm sorry?
There was somebody on Facebook claiming she was questioned about this. Could you tell me if that's true and where that might have led?
Well, I can say there's an individual that put some information on Facebook that was false. We did, and I urge the citizens, please don't put false information out there. That takes time for us to run that down. And yes, we had to go and interview this young lady and have a word of prayer with her. And but it turned out to be nothing. So.
How did you determine it's false?
We, good law enforcement.
Folks, as you can imagine, we're all very, very busy. We'll take another couple questions if you have them, and we need to go back to work.
Yeah. Anything else, guys? I just want to say, reiterate again, the thank you for all the assistant agencies and how much it means to us here at the Sheriff's Office and to the citizens out here in Moore County. We're working around the clock, and we're going to do all we possibly can to keep you folks safe. So thank you. God bless you.